Today, I'll be talking about why I hate St. Andrews and why I would never recommend this school to anyone. By the way, sorry if I sound like shit. My recording environment is me sitting in a closet. Also, I'm super sick. I feel like death, and I just really wanted to get this off my mind. So, I went to this school 3 years prior to these experiences, and honestly, it wasn't bad. Lower school was actually quite interesting. One of my teachers was just the greatest. She honestly engaged us with everything we wanted to learn. But you're also not here to hear about my experiences with good teachers. So I'm going to start off with the weird. This segment is actually going to be two different stories. I'll tell you when I change into the next story, so don't worry. One day in my class, the teacher started playing the xylophone. Nothing unusual because he was a music teacher. The odd thing was the middle school principal was here. Now I think about it wasn't so surprising because very recently this music teacher had thrown a chair at a student. Don't worry, I'll talk about that story too because it's just so absurd. But this music teacher continues to teach us how to find the root of keys. And he names these keys white and black, just like piano keys. He goes white, black, white, white, and then he, no joke, says these words. So far, all I've learned is that I'm a racist. In front of the principal. The principal doesn't even flinch. It's a short story, but still very odd. The day starts off as normal as it can get. I walk into class, put my computer by the wall, and go to sit down. We start off with a short little jam, and he stops everybody and starts talking about how everyone was offbeat. At this point, you may be like, Ethereum, where's the weird part? You said it was a normal day. Hold your horses, because in literally 10 seconds, he starts talking about groups for the class. One of my classmates, I'll call annoying boy number 1, gets called on. He's partnered with a girl in our class, I'll call Mary Sue number 300, because of how perfect she likes to act. Annoying boy number 1, Mary Sue number 300 get paired together. At one point, these two had dated. I can't call it that though because it's middle school. But back to my story. Everybody starts going, ooh, and it's really annoying. But suddenly the teacher silences everyone. To sum up his words, he said this. Annoying boy number 1 is lucky because Mary Sue number 300 is really hot. I can't shake the feeling he's looking at one of these kids a little too closely, and it really freaks me out all the time. It's weird. He's the kind of teacher that makes me want to call the cops during class, and honestly, I should have during our next segment. I call this segment the really ugly. Honestly, I hate even telling this story because it makes me so pissed off. This next story is the absolute worst of St. Andrews. They broke the number 1 rule, the obvious do nots. And this has happened to other students too. A teacher attacking a student should never happen. Do what you want with this information. I just want to tell you, everything you're about to hear is real. And the fact that it happened sickens me. You want to know who stars in this story? Me and my pervy psycho music teacher. I don't know how this man has a job, but truly he shouldn't. Someone needs to revoke his teaching license. I walked in, it feels like a normal day. I put my computer against the wall, then I look at our teacher and realize something's wrong. He's pissed at something. His face is of absolute murder, and it was creeping me out. So I sat in the back to avoid his gaze. Everybody else slowly piled in, freshly from PE, so everyone was really pumped up and talking a lot. This just made him angrier. I swear I thought his head might explode. I noticed that people practically piled behind me, so I moved all the way to the back, and that's why I hear, Ethereum, go take a seat and rejoin the class when you're ready. I'm thinking to myself, what did I do, and where do I go to get a chair from? I walk into the only room I knew had a chair in it. The studio. I assumed you took one of these chairs, rolled it over, and sat on it. But as soon as I peered into the studio, he screamed, "That's not where to get a chair!" I look over as he takes one of these cheap folding chairs and literally throws it at me. It flies across the room and lands directly at my feet. All I could think was, this isn't goddamn WWE. Stop throwing the chairs. I don't know what he thought he was doing. Without talking, I picked up the chair and kicked it open and sat straight down on it. And this is when he breaks the second rule of being a teacher. For a couple weeks, I confided in him that I was being bullied and that in his class specifically, someone hit me. I also didn't know what to do in his class. But now back to my story. So I sit down in my chair and he starts saying, "Hey Ethereum, you want to know why you don't have any friends? Why you're a social outcast?" At this point, I was pissed. He could mock me, but I would stand my ground. The worst part of this entire interaction, the school didn't care. We told them what happened, that he threw a chair at me like it was WWE. Their answer was to keep him as a teacher at the school and have him continue. No questions asked. That's the whole reason I'm making this show. What St. Andrews is truly, it's just a wolf in sheep's clothing, luring you in and then killing you. Or in my case, confiding personal things, then having a chair thrown at you. Honestly, my biggest problem is it costs almost $30,000 a year to go there. They should have decently nice teachers, but it seems they can't even do that.